Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, I have such a good show for you today. Megan's up to some stuff on her Instagram. She's posted new pics. We're going to take a look at that. In my opinion, it seems to be a look over here. Don't ask me questions because something's going down with one of her besties that we have got to talk about. If you're new here, I'm Jen. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the thumbs up, leave me comments, as all of those help YouTube to recommend my videos, and I sincerely appreciate that. Let's jump right on in with her weird Instagram post right here. So this just went up last night, and it says, crisp air, blue skies, and the sweetest moments. I love that her sweetest moments have her in the center of the photo, no family anywhere around, half, you know what, petting a dog. The other dog's just looking in bewilderment. It's just so silly. Now, she always makes a point to show these palm trees. If you remember, I believe, I don't know, it was one of the documentaries, maybe the Harry and Meghan one. She talked about them being Harry and Meghan palm trees. Okay, sure. It's their honeymoon phase, remember? All right, let's take a look at this outfit before I break down what I really think is going on here. Oh, it's just so bad. It's so bad. This is something that a 6-year-old would wear. No offense to 6-year-olds. I asked my Gosling in the single digits. She doesn't know. I don't fill her head with negativity about this stuff, but she knows that sometimes Meghan spends ridiculous amounts of money on clothes, and she knows about the look at me. But I just asked her, I was like, "Hey, would you ever wear this dress?" And she said, "No." I'm like, okay, cool. Just checking, making sure I'm raising her right. That's how you check. But it looks terrible. A friend of mine said it looks like an elderly woman that's bringing out her garbage cans to the street and didn't know what to put on, so she put on a bathrobe. And I was like, yeah, I can't really argue with that. I mean, it's just not a good look. All I could think of is she going for the Diana moment with the see-through dress, maybe, but she's already tried that before, so I don't know. It's just real bad. It's really bad. It's like a faux Disney. Like, I don't know if you know, but at Disney parks, as a grown-up, you're not allowed to wear, unless it's a certain event, you're not supposed to wear a costume as to not confuse kids so they don't think you're trying to be like a Disney princess. I'm just wondering, would they let her in with that? I don't know. Anyway, there's the other poor dog standing off to the side, like, what? I'm guessing, I don't know. This probably doesn't have to happen too often where she's out there playing with the dogs. But just a reminder, appears to me to be the same dress that she wore in this post. And this post is never not funny to me because when you really look at it, there's so many things ridiculous about it. I don't believe she's swinging. I think she's just climbed on this thing and put her feet out because the dress isn't moving. Her hair isn't moving. You would naturally be swang and it'd be maybe a little bit blurred, but that doesn't seem to be the case with this one. So okay, sure. But here's it appears to me the same dumb yellow dress. Anybody else in the world, I'd say it's for sure the same dumb yellow dress, but with Meghan, she probably bought 15 of the same dumb yellow dresses. Oh, before I get into this, because she did post other things, let me show you this. Now, I was trying to find who made this dress because I figured it probably cost more than my car. Because why wouldn't you spend a ridiculous amount of money on a stupid yellow dress? But then what's funny is I was Googling and I used the Google image search and I found, you know what Google thinks it is? I don't think it's the same dress, but I don't care. It's just funny to me. Google thinks it's the Marks and Spencer dress. And that's funny for so many reasons because the tie back to the United Kingdom and the idea that she would be wearing a Marks and Spencer dress. There's nothing wrong with Marks and Spencer dress, but for her, she would see that as below her. So I think it's funny that Google thinks it's the Marks and maybe it is. That would be funny. But yeah, I was showing it does have similar sleeves and pockets, but I'm not sure. They didn't show the back of the dress. I was trying to see if it was the same, but it does come in yellow. So it could be. That would actually be fun. That would strike me funny if it was a Marks and Spencer dress. But I had another theory. I was like, well, obviously what she did was she got a bunch of photos made on the swing day, and then she's posting it, posting some of the photos here. Okay, great. But I was like, why is she doing this? Well, two things. We're going to get into her friend that's in big trouble. But also something else hit me. I was like, oh, I know why she's doing this because, hello, and I don't get political here, but Melania was just in the news for wearing her yellow dress. So Meghan posted herself in a yellow dress. Anybody else in the world, I'd be like, well, that's probably not anything, but it's Meghan. Hello. She's going to try to capitalize on any tie back to the royal family and anything that will get her clicks. So I wouldn't put it past her. Who knows? Maybe it's something to do with that. So that struck me funny. Let's take a look at the other photos real quick. And then I want to go into what's going on, why I think Meghan's playing look over here versus look at what my friend did. Because it's not good. All right, let's take a look back at the, hold on, I've got the pictures again. Okay, here, it's right here. Okay, so here's the dumb yellow dress. And then she posted this. I can't even make this interesting. She's talking about as ever upcycling. Okay, who's doing that? One person had posted, or maybe she had posted, I can't remember, on her Instagram a little bit ago about reusing those as vases. And I'm like, who? Okay. The jam that nobody wanted, it's not even jam, the spread that nobody wanted, and now reusing it as a vase. Okay, great. It's the same thing. It's to me, it's as equally as dumb as the suggestion that you buy the keepsake packaging. Remember that she put out for some of this spread. I keep almost accidentally calling it jam. You can't even call it that. The spread. She put out that keepsake packaging, which was crazy expensive, and they suggested you use it as a time capsule. I'm blinking messages of who's doing that. Nobody's doing that. That's ridiculous. All right. And then she had posted this one. Again, okay, fine. I mean, it's a fine picture. I don't have much to say on this except for why? What are we advertising here? Okay, great. The wine laying in grass, savoring summer's final sips. Okay, sure. Everything is just so juvenile and childish, if you ask me. It's Pinterest from, I don't know, 15 years ago. I don't know. All right, there's that. But let me tell you what else is going on because this is interesting. Now, just a reminder, I did sit through all those podcast episodes. Speaking of blinking help messages, I was blinking help messages through those, but she had all those podcast episodes and I did sit through them. And one of the guests she had on was Whitney Wolf Herd. Okay. Not Whitney Herd as an Amber Heard's sister, Whitney Wolf Herd, co-founder of Bumble. So I have done a whole recap on that episode. I found them both insufferable. You can go back and listen to that, my breakdown with that. But Whitney's in trouble right now. And I want to talk about that because Meghan's not saying anything. This is, in my opinion, this seems to be Meghan's look over here. Don't ask me questions about this because, again, the hypocrisy is off the charts. Look at this. So according to New York Post, now that Bumble founder Whitney Wolf Herd has been exposed, will Meghan Markle call her out? Of course not. Now let's talk about this. I'm going to preface this by saying this. And you know, we'll read the article and it sounds like this woman is awful. So this is not me standing up for this woman. She sounds terrible. She sounds honestly a lot like Markle and the things she's been accused of, from horrible racial things to allegations of being not nice to other women to there's actually allegations of getting physical with an ex-boyfriend, things like that, like some real bad stuff going on here. So this is, oh, and so much more. But there's so this is not me at all standing up for her. It's more of, I personally am not into this whole witch hunt cancel culture thing. I'm not. I don't like the idea that, and the article kind of talks about this, and that's why I like the article. I don't like the idea that people can't make mistakes, grow, and change. So this is not me going after a witch hunt, but I do think we should talk about this because the glaring hypocrisy of it all is quite disgusting. So let's take a look. Okay, so let's keep going with this. Here's the the article itself. Let's make this a little bigger because my goodness. Okay. If exalted girl boss who is best friends with Meghan Markle and Lauren Sanchez admits to dropping racial and gay stuff, YouTube, in years past, let's see, does it make a sound? It would seem not. And the silence from the social justice warriors, cancelers, and even fellow media is deafening as it is hypocritical. On Friday night, an investigation into the behavior of billionaire Bumble founder Whitney Wolf Herd, who began her career at Tinder before suing the dating app and his parent company in 2014 for harassment, was published by the Daily Mail. The parties settled out of court. Don't worry, it's a short article, but it hits some points that I think we should look at. So her former Tinder colleague said Wolf Herd overstated her influence and role at the tech company, was violent toward her ex, Tinder co-founder Justin Mateen, and treated fellow female employees terribly. She has denied these allegations. Again, where have we heard all this? Oh, yeah. A lot of the same stuff that Meghan's been accused of. Birds of a feather. And in the piece, she admitted to using, I'm not going to say these, but you can read these, terrible language. But forgive her, Lord. She blamed it on her colleagues, saying it was simply keeping up with the fellas in a male-centric tech company. Unbelievable. Again, where have we heard this? Oh, yeah, Harry and Meghan. They never take accountability for anything. Remember, again, I think about Harry trying to blame William and Catherine for him wearing the awful uniform, you know, the one. Unbelievable. The story paints a murkier picture of the founder's fairy tale female empowerment, which was made into so they made a fawning film out of it by Disney. Again, I'm making that face because it ties back to Meghan and her Disney connection as well. I believe it was by Disney. I know it's showing on Disney Plus, so there's some sort of affiliation there. Swiped that. Let's see. Let me make it bigger so I can see it. Swipe that debuted on Hulu. Excuse me. I think it was Hulu and Disney Plus, maybe that it showed on. Wolf Herd, who said she had nothing to do with the film, is played by Lily James. In the piece, okay, I just read that. Sorry, hold on. Let me switch to the next slide. But surely her friend's admission would spur Markle, who built her entire identity on fighting against racism, to speak out against such dangerous language. The Robert F. Kennedy Foundation even gave her and her husband, Prince Harry, the Ripple of Hope Award for championing racial justice. After all, Markle ran to Oprah in 2021 to cry about the eastward she allegedly endured at the hands of the royal family. She accused an unnamed member, all the stuff. Okay. And then they go into the unconscious bias. But why the crickets from Markle and the rest of the Be Kind brigade out of Hollywood? Back in April, she only had effusive praise for her pal, who was the inaugural guest for her podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder. The two fawned over each other. Markle described her as the kind of friend who just always seems to know the exact thing to say when I need perspective. On that episode, Wolf Herd said she had initially driven to create a female-forward platform, which would eventually become Bumble, to encourage kindness among women. Again, where have we heard crap like this? Oh, yeah, that's something Meghan would do, preaching things like this, but then we find out behavior showing the opposite. And because calling Wolf Herd out would only upset her Montecito ecosystem, unlike attacking the royals, which led to a rollout of lucrative opportunities of podcasting and streaming. On one hand, I'm heartened that our culture is seemingly no longer interested in the relegation of past indiscretions or errors in judgment with a penalty of social execution. I'd like to think we've decided to grant people the grace to make mistakes and be human. I do like that point very much. However, I know that's not the full story. Wolf Herd is protected because she's in the club of anointed good people. Such mercy won't be extended to non-members. See where I like that article so much? I thought that was so well written and so well said, and further points out the hypocrisy. Thy name is Meghan and Harry. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. So, hey, next time they're buying or whatever, finding a friend to hand out an award to them, just keep stuff like this in your mind because I sure do. How's that hypocrisy treating you as ever? My goodness. All right, that's going to do it for me. You have to let me know your thoughts on all of this. Tell me your thoughts on that dress. Will you be running right out and buying one? Tell me your thoughts on the unbelievable continued hypocrisy out of Harry and Meghan, and tell me your thoughts on this Wolf Herd. Again, I say birds of a feather. Man, get her and Meghan and Jessica Mulroney in a room together and watch them be just a barrel of laughs, right? My God, they're all awful, aren't they? Ugh, they can only put up with each other, it sounds like. All right, that's going to do it for me. Let me know your thoughts on all this as ever. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Can I just say a huge thank you? Thank you to everybody who's subscribed lately. Thank you to everybody who's been subscribed. I've had so many new subscribers, and I really appreciate that. The views on the videos, the shorts, all that has been incredible. The response to the sit down I had with John Witherspoon has been incredible. Thank you for that. Be sure to go back and watch that if you haven't. We do a lot of deep diving on that. And then I just put out a piece yesterday about Fergie. Definitely go watch that because that has been in the news. You're going to want to know what she's being accused of over there. It's disgusting. So check that out. That was my last video on that. All right. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to further support the show, you know how to do it. And P.S., stay tuned to the end. I'm telling you now, because some people still don't know that after I do all this, they click off here. But I usually put some Easter eggs at the end. So I'm just letting you know. So a friend of mine was like, Jen, does everybody know about your stuff at the end? I'm like, I don't know. So I'm just letting you know. Stay tuned to the end because I usually ask a secret question. Okay. But if you want to further support the show, here's how you do it. I do have the merch. We're coming up on Halloween. I love fall so much, but I have the Beetlejuice merch. Check that out. I have Everything's Fine, and I have Team Catherine. So check those out if you're interested. And check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. Yes, it's my old name, but it's got tons of new stuff, tons of bonus content. Check that out if you're the least bit interested. I do deep dives, behind the scenes, answer your questions, all that stuff over there. And a huge thank you to my executive geese and ganders. You're the wind beneath my goosey wings. I couldn't do it without you. Thank you for all your love and support. All right. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you all have the best day, and I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. So many of you responded so well to the Fergie stuff. If you want more of that, more of a deep dive there, let me know. All right. Have the best day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Okay, we're here. Hi. So if you're new here, what I do is I stay tuned, or of course, I stay at the end and I just kind of have just a relaxed conversation. I never have planned what I'm going to say. I just kind of look in the camera and say, hi, how are you? How is your day going? How are things? Some of you say this is your favorite part of the video. That means so much to me. It's mine too. One of mine too. I love this because I can just sit and talk and say, how are things? How are you doing? Unbelievable. It's not that it's unbelievable because it's Harry and Meghan, but how incredible that those two continue to preach at everybody and then look at the company they keep and they're not I mean they're not saying a word about it. Not a word. Sounds about right. All right. Yeah, let's see what else. What else is going on? I don't know, a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm fascinated by the Fergie of it all. I am. And you guys had such a strong reaction. So if you want more of that, let me know. Yeah, I'll see what else is going on with Hank and Skank. It's just more nonsense as usual. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. If you stayed tuned this long, let's see, what can we talk about today? Leave me comments. So if you ever notice comments that are like, Harry, Meghan stink and, this and that, but then all of a sudden you'll see one that's like, oh, my favorite 80s song is this. Then it's usually because I've asked a question at the end. I know I haven't talked about this. Do you know what my name is? I'm sorry because it's gonna get stuck in your head, but it's been stuck in my head. You ready? Mana mana do 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 do. Mana mana do 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 do. I love the Muppets. I think that's actually Sesame Street, but I think the Muppets do it too, right? Am I confusing my songs? My God, I don't know. Tell me your favorite. You can tell me either your favorite Sesame Street character, or if you know me at all, you know I love the Muppets. So tell me your favorite Muppets character. That's a hard one because I love the Muppets, but I gotta go Swedish Chef. Bork, bork, bork. I love the Swedish Chef. Port, port, port. He's like throwing food around and just kind of crazy. And I love him. He's so fun. I have to say, I hate to say, I love Beaker too. I do. I love Beaker, but I hate that Harry often gets compared to Beaker. I mean, I see it, but don't ruin Beaker for me. All right, that's gonna do it for me. I'm in like this blue gray again today. I love this color. I do. Sometimes it looks, I think, more gray or darker on camera, but it's blue gray. It's pretty. All right, that's gonna do it for me. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for all the compliments on the look on the last one where I wore the blue sheer top. I got a blue, black sheer top, the see-through top. I got that from Amazon. I thought it was so cute. I need to start an Amazon list. I keep saying this with links or whatever in case anybody wants to see what I got. But I love that shirt. I thought it was fun. I'm trying to bring back the 90s. So, all right, that's gonna do it for me. Take care. Have the best day. Bye-bye. Mana mana. Do 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 do. Mana mana. Boop 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 boop. All right. Sorry, that's gonna be in your head all day long. It's in mine, so it's gonna be in yours. Bye. Mana mana. Do 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 do. Mana mana. Do 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 do.